Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut. I'm not feeling so amazing. And the New York Mets aren't so amazing either, for that matter. I mean, that ninth inning ended pretty quick, holy shit. But before we get into the June swoon, the last day of June, thank God June's over. 7-19 for the month of June, 2023. But before we get into this debacle, I need you to subscribe to the channel. I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I need you to subscribe to the Baseball Hut and like this video. So, the Mets lost again tonight. They're 7-19 in the month of June. They lost their 46th game of the year. What did Ron say just a minute ago? That the Mets lost their 46th game in August? 23rd of 2022? Wow. What a horror show. What a difference a year makes, doesn't it? That's why, when you get into a spot where they got into last year, that you go for it. But they didn't do that last year. But be that as it may. This is the hallmark, again, of a losing team. They got four runs tonight. They're winning the game. One of their most reliable relievers came in, and he blew the game. That is the epitome of a team that is going to lose over 90 games. This could get even uglier if we're not careful. If this team is not careful, they could lose 100 games this year and finish in last place. I'm just warning you right now, because right now they're on pace for 91 losses. And I said in the last video on Thursday that they are on the precipice to get go through another slide. We got how many games to the All-Star break? Another week? 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 games to the All-Star break. The Giants are a good team. This Patrick, whatever the hell his name is, Patrick Bailey. That's what happens when you have a good team. When you have a good team, you will find guys that come out of nowhere to get big hits, make big plays. Starling Marte needed to steal in the 9th inning in that spot. He had a great jump. The kid just threw him out. What are you going to do? This is what happens when you have a bad team, is that you don't get the breaks. Umpiring, you'll get bad umpiring when you're a bad team. As simple as that. The umpires know that, when they are officiating bad teams and good teams. A lot of times the bad teams don't get the calls, and the good teams always get the calls, it seems. That's the nature of baseball a lot of times, believe it or not. The human element kind of always comes into play in that way. But yeah, I mean, really, since the whole thing with Steve Cohen coming out and supported this team and this group, they're 0-3. I mean, but that's, again, that really didn't make that big of a difference. But they should start thinking about trading some of these guys, if not all of them. There was a big trade tonight, believe it or not. The first big trade of the pre-deadline, that was Aroldis Chapman got traded from the Royals to the Rangers. The Rangers are all in. The Rangers are going to be in on a lot of players. We had not heard the Rangers when it came to the Aroldis Chapman. I had not heard them with him. But that trade happened. They gave up a rather interesting package. A young lefty. He's 25 years old. He's on the 40-man roster for the Rangers. And a young kid, 17-year-old outfielder. So the Mets now are finding themselves in a position where they're going to have to sell. Tommy Pham, who's played great, there's no reason to hold on to him. He's 35 years old. He's no future here. This is the best he's ever going to play at his age. You move him. David Robinson, despite his blow-up tonight, he's going to get moved. Mets got 13 blown saves in June. Holy shit! But that's what happens when your starters don't go 5, 6, 7 innings. And Carrasco only went 5 innings tonight. 13 blown saves in June. Well, there you go. That's why he's 7-19. And we know the big blow-up that happened in Atlanta and the blow-up that happened in Philadelphia this week. There's no coming back when your bullpen blows it. 7-19. But if that is not a June swoon, I don't know what is. But So Robinson will be gone. Pham will be gone. I would assume Marcana should be going. I would basically strip the whole thing down. A lot of these guys don't have big contracts. I'd move out of Vino. Vogelback, get him out of here. Do whatever you got to do to just change the narrative, change the story. Let us talk about other things. This group failed. Okay, this group had a chance last year to get to the World Series and do great things. They didn't do it. They struggled the last month of the season, and they've let that struggle continue to this year. I said this before, they're not very tough. They need to find some guys that are a lot tougher than this group has shown to be. And also, they might not be that talented. I mean, that's a possibility, too. That this group is just not talented enough. And as you know, this is the oldest team in Major League Baseball, and they might have just gotten old all at the same time, just as a group. It's too bad, but again, they have to start moving these guys out of here. The Mets should seriously consider moving Scherzer, should seriously consider moving Verlander. Keep an eye on the Rangers. I'm very surprised at how quickly they moved today on this Aroldis Chapman deal, because this was not discussed anywhere. As far as I know, I hadn't heard that their names come up in any way, like I said. So keep an eye on them when it comes to Scherzer, when it comes to Verlander. I mean, think about it. Verlander, who pitched in Houston all those years, what if the Rangers come to the Mets and say, we want to trade something good? And the Rangers have a good farm system, folks. And it's going to get better during the draft, because they're going to have a top draft. I think they have number 4 in the draft this year, because they've been so bad for so long. They've had some very good drafts the last few years. I mean, they're going to bring in, for that team, more talent in their farm system. So keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on the Dodgers with Scherzer, the Angels with Scherzer, the Orioles possibly, if the Mets take a lot of the money. He is still a quality pitcher. People say, well, he's just a number 3 starter. You can still get something for him. He still has that gravitas. He still has that quality in terms of name recognition. And people will say, you know what, maybe you get him out of New York under a different tutelage of a different pitching coach. He does a better job. And obviously with a better bullpen, you have a better chance to win games than with this Mets bullpen right now. None of us thought that this team was going to be a 100-win team. I didn't. But I don't think anybody in their right mind thought that they would be this bad. You know, to be 10 games under 500, nobody thought that. Nobody. Anybody that told you that, they're lying to you. And they do say that they're the most miserable Mets fan you can come across. Nobody expected this. I certainly didn't. So if you're gonna be bad, I'm gonna say I've never said this before on this channel. If you're gonna be bad, be so bad that you trade everybody and that you get yourself a good draft pick in the following year. That is what the goal should be now. Is just, this is what I would do. Get rid of Scherzer. Get rid of Verlander. And I know it's going to be hard with the money. Trade Quintana. Quintana had a start tonight. He's probably going to have to need another rehab start, because he didn't have a good start. He did too many pitches in a short amount of time. They had to take him out after 3 innings. Get him out of here. We don't need him. I'd like to see Tyler McGill get a shot up here. Even if he pitches poorly, I'd like to see him pitch. Okay? Get rid of Robinson. Get rid of Raley. Get rid of Ottavino. Get rid of Pham. Get rid of Cannon, like I said. Get rid of every veteran player on this team that you can get rid of. You know who we're going to keep? Alvarez. Get rid of Narvaez. Keep Alvarez. Keep Pete Alonso. Pete's not going anywhere. He's got to worry about signing him to a long-term deal. McNeil's not going anywhere. Lindor's not going anywhere. Beatty's not going anywhere. Everyone wants to see Beatty play every day. He's got to play against lefties all the time. Don't pitch hit for him. To have him come in the game. If you sit him, just get him up there. Run him out there every day. Simple as that. Nimmo's not going anywhere. Just trade as many of these guys as you can. This team needs pitching help in the farm system. They're going to have to build a different kind of team going into next season. They're gonna have to be a lot smarter. And again, no one was expecting this, but we're here now. They have to seriously think about moving pieces now. We can't wait too much longer. You make some moves, you get rid of the pieces now, we can start talking about different things. It's as simple as that. It's not fair to us that we have to keep watching this bullshit. And that's what it is. Every single night. I noticed that one of the kids came into this game in the ninth inning. Grant Hardwick, he got out of that ninth inning when he had a little trouble. The easiest way, this is my opinion, the easiest way to build a bullpen is from within. And the reason is very simple. A lot of times these starters in the minor leagues do not do well in the majors as a starter. And a lot of times they're good as relievers. Jerry's Familia was in the minor leagues with the Mets as a starter. And when he first came up to the Mets, he started a couple of games, but then the Mets decided to put him in the bullpen. Henry Mejia, even though he's a disgraced pitcher, he started out as a starter. And he became a pretty good reliever until he got into trouble. But these guys are the kind of guy, going back further, believe it or not, Johnny Franco was a starter with the Dodgers, and he got traded to the Reds, and he became a reliever. Rick Aguilera, I'm just using old Met references. Rick Aguilera started as a starter for a long time with the Mets. Then he got traded, went to Minnesota, became a top-notch reliever. So the best way to build your bullpen is through your farm system. That's why this farm system is in so much. This is why this pitching staff is in so much trouble, because they're not bringing in talent from the farm to help this bullpen out, and they're not bringing in talent to help this rotation out. That's why they spent $90 million over the last 2 years on Verlander and now Scherzer. $180 million for what? Eat some of the contract, get him out of here. Before I forget, keep an eye on the Diamondbacks. I was watching SNY before the game, and they were mentioning the Diamondbacks heavily when it came to Scherzer. That owner wants to win, and Scherzer got his start with the Diamondbacks. So that's a place he might want to go back to if the Mets say, when we got a deal, and they have a good farm system too. This is exhausting. I know people are very angry. People were very angry at the end of this game because they, once Bailey threw out Marte, there was no sign onto the scoreboard that was strike 2 on that ball. So when Nimmo got called out, swung and miss, nobody knew the game was over. I was a little confused myself, because I didn't realize the game was over either. So, but they let us know on TV that was 2 strikes, but I was like, wait a minute, it seemed like a little confusion there. But anyway, the hope is to get these players out of here, bring in some young talent. Mets need pitching. Pitching. This team needs pitching, and they just don't have it. They have to get rid of these veteran guys, get them all out of here, all of them, and get some young pitching in here. If that happens, the Mets will be in better shape going into next year. And then maybe you can sign, say, Urias, or I hope I'm saying his name right, and maybe Aaron Nola. I know people might not want to hear that, but just keep that in mind. There are some interesting free agents next offseason that aren't Shohei Ohtani. I don't believe Ohtani's coming here next year. I think he's staying out in California. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. Please check out the Baseball Hut 2. I got a lot of great stuff on there. Check out the Prospect Hut. I've been doing a lot of prospects today and over the next couple of days. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Have a good day. God willing, you have a good day. And I'll see you later.